Hello everybody, this is Juntes. So, Blizzard listened and vanilla servers is gonna be a thing. We are actually going to see something the community has asked for about 5 to 8 years or something like that. Just that alone is kinda impressive, you know. I never really thought myself it would actually happen, because at a point you kind of just feel like Blizzard are too corporate, or like, you know, businesses don't really listen to consumer feedback or whatever. But we were completely proven wrong in this case, and I have to say that struck me as a surprise. Now, of course, it's good with Blizzard listening to the fans and all that shit, but I think they're listening for the wrong reasons. And yeah, I think we are, kind of getting on with the video now, the whole title and whatever. I have played since vanilla World of Warcraft. In fact, I would say the second hardest hardcore raiding time I ever did was also in vanilla. Back then I was in a Danish all guild. We were like the third best guild in Denmark. Nothing special, but still we were hardcore enough to at least be recognized in the Denmark community as an okay guild that are, maybe a little bit casual, maybe not the best raiders overall, but still for a vanilla guild we were okay. Now, while I'm getting stunned here and killed while I'm stunned as well, oh, nice sleep, we can kind of just talk a little about my own experience with vanilla. Now, I was in a raiding guild as a druid. I was forced to always just heal. At the end of vanilla, I was able to gather some feral gear from AQ40 and whatnot, and since then I never really returned, you could say. I really can't imagine World of Warcraft without classes like enhancements, shamans, ragey paladins, etc. That for me is World of Warcraft nowadays. Ever since Burning Crusade launched, I have never looked back. This is the World of Warcraft for me. This druid I'm playing right now, this is World of Warcraft for me. I don't care about other classes. I don't care about other builds. This truly is the game for me, and I think that's gonna be the case for many people as well. Because who wants to play a role nowadays in World of Warcraft that can only do one thing? I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it. Back then, of course, it made sense, I suppose. That was the game design back then. But should probably also mention my fast raiding experience in vanilla. Actually, that's kind of stupid. I killed Shitoon, up to Shitoon. No, I also missed Huhuran, the worm boss, and then I killed the first 5 bosses in X40. Now, that is nothing hardcore, but that's still, that is like a top 250 rank or whatever. I guess. I'm not really sure how many were actually in, raiding back then, but still 5 bosses in X40. So, yeah, I should know what vanilla was like, and by God I do, because one of the things I did so freaking many hours, I'm gonna guess maybe 100, maybe 200 hours, I'm afraid to say that much. I was grinding gold, and I was doing the most silly way to grind gold you can possibly imagine. I was a resto druid, as I said. I never really got any gear, and the only way I knew how to make gold back then was farming freaking Devil Sword leather to make these 2 stupid items here. And that is one of the things I clearly remember about the end game. Every day, when we were raiding X40, I would log on, go to Ongoro Crater, craft 1 or 2 of these items, sell them for 40G, and that was it. And then I would get some dinner, or log off or whatever. Like that was pretty much the end game for me at certain points. Then I would also occasionally find time to level alts, but it was mostly just preparing for the raids, getting the consumables just a little bit. We weren't a hardcore guild. We weren't really expected to, show up resistance potions and whatnot, but we still had to, get gold. And if you were a resto druid back then, it was just really, really hard to do such a thing. I don't know if, DPS classes had it easier, where they could go farm Tour's Hold or whatever in EPL. Like that's definitely a thing I was not able to do back then, because again I didn't have any gear for feral, and yeah. It was just so stupid. The whole end game, I was just so sick and tired of Goro Creative by then, and I think a lot of people are kinda, let's move on to like the next part. I think a lot of people are gonna flock to vanilla and think, oh, this is gonna be so good, but then they forget just how used they are to the actual game nowadays. Now let's just take an example. We didn't have all the add-ons. Like in my case, I literally play World of Warcraft with about 110 add-ons nowadays. Yeah, I know that sounds extreme, but you can actually just see all these freaking add-ons, and it just keeps on going. These are all the add-ons that I'm currently using right now in one way, shape or another. If I didn't have all these add-ons in vanilla, or actually never mind, if I had all these add-ons in vanilla, the game would have been completely different. The game would in fact have been easy, at most parts at least. The community was just so crap back then. We had no way to really guide us. Like, there wasn't icy veins. Like, it's freaking ridiculous. I can learn a class in World of Warcraft and play at a decent level if you give me like 4 hours. In vanilla, you would literally have to level the class to learn it. Like, that was like at the point where there were no, there weren't any fan sites, there weren't any like real guides to help you out. And nowadays, if you join vanilla nowadays, you can probably start already doing like 1000 DPS in freaking a molten core gear or whatever. Like, I'm just gonna call it here. If they don't balance it, if they don't change something about it, we are gonna be able to clear next 40 in about a month from the vanilla launch. I am gonna expect to people clear that fast. Like, the mechanics are just ridiculously easy now. They're ridiculously boring. They make no sense. Like try to remember what Molten Core was like. Some of the mechanics in Molten Core were absolutely silly compared to what we have nowadays. It were basically only until like few bosses in AQ40 and next that were like, mechanically they were actually doing something when you think about it. People are just gonna be so bored from that really, really fast. Like, one of the challenging things in like freaking raids were also just having 40 people. Now, my guild back then were, again, decent enough. We were not hardcore, but we were like semi-hardcore. We of course had the core group that was like 20 people who were insanely hardcore and lived for World of Warcraft. You pretty much had to back then if you were gonna be like a member, what can you say, a higher end member of the guild, or even an officer or raid leader, whatever. There was also the stupid whole, raid leading with the DK pay systems and updating the websites every day. And oh my god, there was so much back-end work for all the people who were leading back then. That was also another thing that's completely gone nowadays. We have so much better systems and whatnot. Like I think a lot of people are just gonna like flock to the game and be so fast bored with it, because you can just storm through the vanilla nowadays with all your knowledge, all the fan sites, all the freaking add-ons that you have. Again, I should probably mention that I actually did play on a, I don't even know I should actually say that, because who knows if Blizzard will take offense to that. But I actually did try a vanilla server out once, and I got to like level 6, and by then I had set up my UI, found working add-ons for 1.211 or whatever it was called, the patch, and I just didn't see the point. Like, I rolled the warrior. I know I'm gonna make, when the vanilla World of Warcraft servers out, like when vanilla is gonna come out, I'm obviously gonna have to try it, at least just see what it's like on launch or whatever, and then I'm obviously gonna play a warrior. Because, I love tanking in general, and warriors are just so unique in that time. They were truly, the only way to kind of, what can you say, get in a leader role, like get into a position where you were easily respected, easily able to kind of, get your crosser point. Because that was also another thing. If you were like a mage or like a shadow priest or some random thing, you were really never really gonna climb up the ladder in a guild. You kinda had to be these sort of little more important classes, like good raid healer, like a resto druid or a main tank heal paladin. Like there were certain roles that also just really gained no respect. Also just because some classes were ridiculously boring and easy to play, at least for PvM. That's just my point. Nowadays I feel like a lot of classes kind of have the same sort of level, the same sort of, what can you say, skill level. We are kind of even in that regard. Like some classes, my god, they were just boring to play. Let's just be honest about that. I don't think the gameplay was any good in vanilla compared to what we have nowadays. And I'm not just talking like visuals. Visuals were also kind of, crap back then, but just the gameplay, the functions alone, like even just like how stats works and all these clunky mechanics. Maybe I'm just spoiled. Maybe I'm just used to all these like quality of life changes and whatnot. That might just be it. But I would kind of love to know your thoughts around this. Again, I like to believe that it's never gonna be the same, because you know too much about World of Warcraft nowadays to actually have it matter like at all. I just cannot believe that anyone is gonna enjoy a pure, unadulterated vanilla experience. Not in the long run, at least. Not in the long run. That's at least a given for me. But maybe I'm wrong here, and maybe you are gonna play for different reasons other than, everything I pretty much just mentioned. Maybe there are other things that draws you in. Maybe the game was perfect in the way it was for you. I would kind of love to know the thoughts behind a player who are 100% sure that vanilla World of Warcraft is the right game for them, or whatever. And my god, this game is close. Can I kill this mage? I don't think I can, because now I got a freaking demon hunter on my back. That was a fun little close game. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much just gonna round it off with that. Maybe this video got a little long for kind of like a ranty. I try to not do these opinion pieces too often on my channel. Sorry for that if they were a little opinionated. But I felt like it just had to be said, because again, my god, look at the freaking plate I have on this stupid druid as well. 544 days, my god, I don't even deserve to, I don't even deserve to, like, this is unhealthy amount of plate. And I am really hardcore about WoW, at least I was a few years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago, but especially I was hardcore in vanilla. I have never really, cared so much about a game that I did in vanilla, but it was just not the best experience regardless. Even if I had like the best guild, I had an amazing guild. I loved pretty much every freaking player on that. There was of course some drama and some hardship and some drama with players involving me, but I was also kind of a little kid back then. I was like 14 years old or whatever. But yeah, I could also just mention really fast, the best experience in my case, Burning Crusade. It refined what World of Warcraft should be. It updated quality of life changes. It gave new mechanics, new talent trees. It gave new specs. Retribution paladins were legit good, even at I wouldn't say the second tier like Tempest Keep stuff. It came kind of later in Black Temple, especially Sunwell. By then, Reti Paladins were very good for PvM. I was tanking all the freaking way with Feral Druid, Guardian Druid, whatever you want to call it nowadays. That was just amazing to tank as a Druid after I had been healing. Something I didn't even want to do for so long. But I rolled a Druid thinking this was the right class for me, and I knew it was the right class for me when Burning Crusade launched. And that first day of launch, I logged into the game and I threw on my AQ 40 items, which were stuff like I can just really try to, now you can see what I was looking at. I can just really quickly find, like, this was sort of the gear that I was kind of looking at, if you're like interested in that for whatever reason. Like, these were some of the most prized items that I pretty much had. I didn't even care about my healing gear by then, I actually had the staff from this dude here. I had the staff from the Imperial Crusader Regalia. I had Tier 3 gloves and stuff. Like these items here, legit, where's pipe gauntlets? When I got those and the boots and stuff, I was just so happy, because then I started actually experimenting with Feral Druids and stuff. And I feel like going back to vanilla World of Warcraft and losing out on what we have now. Sure, the game is not perfect, it has a lot of flaws, but losing out on enhancement shamans, most of the part, Shadow Priests, maybe one Shadow Priest is good in a raid, sure, mana regen, mind control, so forth, but I just don't really think I'm gonna be able to enjoy an adulterated vanilla experience. But of course, we are gonna see how World of Warcraft is gonna be developed. Blizzard is gonna develop vanilla, because they might do huge balance changes. Really change up how vanilla was, but make it a modern day vanilla. I'm kind of hoping for that myself. But this video probably got a bit too long. But this is a topic that's been near to my heart, because I really thought about this a lot over the years, as most people who have played for so long as I have. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.